Hello, how are you doing? Stop doing the can right now. How are you all these days? Okay, nice to see you and have you back. Let me just make sure I've got everything going again. Yes, so let me know where you are viewing from. Let me have a look. Yeah, I'm just going to make sure everything's that's such that I can see it. I'll just check the chat and say hello, everybody. Make sure that's going. Okay, you're all welcome in. Tell me if you can hear the sound. Last week, the sound wasn't good. I had actually turned up the gain so much my voice was distorting, so I scrapped the recording. Hang on, let me have a look. Must do that actually. Yes, yeah. So I scrapped that recording. Wasn't any good. The visuals were good, but the sound was terrible. And it's kind of the sound. People are less forgiving about sound than they are about the video. Okay, well that seems to be the way it is. I can see that my sound seems to be fine. Linda, hello, in Delaware. My goodness, I have to look up where Delaware is. I've never been to the States. It's a fundamental lacking in my life that I'm going to have to redress. Oh yeah, I know it's the USA, Linda. Come on. What's that song about Delaware? What did Delaware boys or something like that? Yeah. Yes, everyone's heard of Delaware. Have you ever heard of Dublin? Because that's what we're painting today. And it sounds like a good Scandinavian name, Olsen. Swedish? So yes, I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in. Is the sound good? East Coast, okay, yeah. My geography is actually rotten, but you know, I know where New York is, and I know where LA is, and then between the two, it's kind of a vast, you know, prairie of you know, expanse that I can't comprehend. Yes, it is. I think you must be responding to the Scandinavian thing. Yeah, Olsen. Oh, Norwegian. Okay. Yeah, one of my students just came back from a cruise up the Norwegian coast and across to Iceland. And she says when they got off the boat at Iceland, she said the wind was so fierce that everyone sort of went back in again. Yeah, so it hasn't been a great summer over here. I'm not sure what it's like where you are. So how did you hear about this podcast? Did you just come across it on YouTube search or something like that, or Google search? Yeah, interested to know how you came across it. Let me just push that in a bit because the chats are pretty good and I need to be able to see all of it. So reduce me. Yeah, okay. And so Linda, do you paint? You must do. You wouldn't be here. Or are you a learner, or you're a seasoned painter, or what? Yes. So during the week, what kind of week did I have? I took a group out painting in a place called Grange Con, which is a very, very small village in West Wicklow, so kind of near Dunlavin, and so it always kind of amazes me how Wicklow is all one county when it has a range of mountains in the middle of it that divides people. You'd think that would be a natural barrier to have a different county, you know. Don't say that to the Wicklow people, I suppose, but yeah, but it was beautiful, and strangely, after all the bad weather we were having and the cold, it turned into a lovely day, and we painted up until 5 o'clock in the day from the morning. Started at 10. We painted all day in the village up to 5, as I say. I had a cup of tea with the lady who owned the house and the gardens where we were painting. And on the way home, there was a total deluge. It was incredible, like a bucketed rain of water cascading down the roads. It was kind of almost dangerous. And so we escaped all that, and we painted. It was lovely. So let me see let's see how many else are in the room. Just gives me an idea of kind of who I'm talking to. Okay, there's a couple of you anyway. So yeah, so that was that was last Saturday, and I was absolutely tuckered out for the whole week. I'm still kind of tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. It's an activity I like to do. It wasn't stressful, but anyway. And the Dublin en plein air painting festival is on at the moment, and I haven't been to a single one of the days, and I won't be able to get to tomorrow's either. So I think I'm going to miss this year's Dublin painting festival, all up around the north side of the county. So where Skerries and starting maybe at Phoenix Park, but all the way up Balbriggan. Oh, I was reading your chat there, Linda. You're near Philadelphia, okay? Oh, I popped up. Oh, YouTube notices, okay. Okay, okay. It was watercolor, yeah. And the only time I paint in watercolor is when I'm sort of doing a little sketch for maybe an illustration, or I'm away on holiday. Otherwise, I kind of stick to oils and acrylics, which is my thing, I suppose. And you're kind of thinking in the opposite way anyway. Although a lot of the I'd say the processes are kind of roughly similar. You're painting from light to dark with watercolor and dark to light with oil. So there's a kind of a fundamental sort of inversion there, and I think it confuses some people. And my watercolors look like they're painted by somebody who paints in oils. Well, it's fair enough. I mean, I don't put myself out as a watercolor painter anyway. But they're all beautiful media, aren't they? So we might as well crack on. I was going to show everyone hang on, let me just see. Let me put in the image, because I forgot to put up a full-size image of the thing that I'm going to paint. So let me just grab one of them. I can do. Let me see. Yes, yeah. Just give me a second. And I'll get an image. Okay. It'll come here in a second. It'll be very quick. Pictures. Should never bring no, it's not there. Give me a moment. Oh, downloads it was in. Yeah, that's right. There we go. Huband. Okay. Okay. Right. That's the image that we're going to paint. So I don't have it in another format where I can just sort of click in and out of it, but I'll just show you that. So that, in fact, it's called the Huband Bridge. It looks like the word husband, but without the S. Huband, I think, and Huband was a character probably around the 18th century, and that bridge is dedicated to him. It's a bridge over the canal, and just beyond there, you're looking at Mount Street, and just into the right there, just if you continue down that little side, well, it's not a little side street, it's an avenue. So to go down there, and there's the Pepper Canister Church, and it's a very pretty part of the city to walk in. How you doing, Martin? You're good. You're looking well. I know I say that every time. I must stop being such a dad. Yeah. So yes. Hello. Yeah. So I don't know whether either of you know this area of Dublin, but it's a very pleasant place to pass some time walking around the canal. And if you continued off to the right, back a bit, sort of in the direction that our back is turned, you'll come to Google and Facebook and all those people in that sort of recently developed part of the city. But this is an old part of the city, I suppose. So those are Georgian buildings, or at least the ones in front are Georgian. Okay, and let's get rid of that. Yes, so here I am back again. And let's have a look at the palette that I'm going to paint in today. So I'll switch to the palette. Here we go. So, right, these are the colours I'm going to use. These are the ones that I use in class. They're in fact a mixture of Griffin and Winton. So they're the kind of paints. They're good quality paints. They're student quality. Well, at least the Winton ones are student quality. The Griffins are better quality. They're in between the artist quality and the and the Winton, the student quality ones, but they're very good and they're fast drying, actually. So they're good paints. I'd say about 80% of the paintings in the, I don't know, in Europe, sort of painted with paints just like these ones. Okay, so and I always like to paint in the paints that my students buy, or the ones that I recommend, because you know they never know whether they're going to stick to it or you know, if they're going to just stop painting. So I hate inviting people to spend their entire you know, wages just on one tube of paint. Like one tube of cadmium paint could cost you 26 euros. Possibly that would be what, $30 or something like that, and it wouldn't be that big either. So I'm going to put out my paints. So titanium white, and you, I suppose, notice, Linda, that hey Miles, how are you doing? Good. Yep. Nice to see you. So yes, what was I going to say? Yeah, you put out a lot more paint than you would see in a watercolor set, I suppose, because good oil paintings usually have a lot of paint on them. Today I'm going to put on, so that's cadmium yellow pale hue, and this one is yellow ochre. I'm using a couple of earth colors today. So let me have a look at the red. Otherwise, it's my McSherry process palette, based on the printed colors, if you must know. Blue, I'm using French ultramarine this time. And today I'm going to put in some Viridian, which is green. And it's a very cold, transparent green, but it kind of, it's good for foliage. It's a bit of a shortcut, really. Otherwise, I'd usually just mix my blue and yellow together. I just fancy changing it up a bit, giving myself a couple more options. And burnt sienna. Okay, I don't need that for the wash, because, like the last few weeks, I'm using up some of these linen canvases, which are there. So this is a linen canvas. You can see it's not white. Let me put something white next to it. So there you go. Bit of toilet roll there. You also have a bit of toilet roll there for spills. Yeah, so let me adjust the camera slightly. I must have knocked off the camera a little bit. Knocked it. Okay. So, Linda, you're saying you're finding you need to put out more oil paint. Yes. The problem is, right, if you don't put out enough paint and you run out of paint, you know, mid painting, and then you have to go hunting around for paint in a box, and you might have a palette on your arm and a brush in your right hand, which you've got to put down somewhere, and you know you're running out of room. It just becomes, it mitigates against you painting, really. It just becomes an onerous task. So yes, so they're the colors. I'm going to start out with a drawing in burnt sienna. Oh, lost me. Yeah, okay, so let's see. So I'm going to give myself a bit of a guideline. I'm just putting a center line down here. Maybe I'll put a center line down here too. Okay, and then the bridge comes up there, and goes down to the center, and then continues down there, and then there's a kind of a rectangle, and then down here we've got the bank that we're standing on, something like that. The aim of all this, Linda, because I mean, Miles and Martin have heard this dozens of times at this stage, is that if you're painting from a photographic reference, and you're a watercolorist, you know this stuff already anyway. It's just that you try and make it look as if you are actually there and not, you know, not using a photographic reference. There's a second corresponding part of the bank coming down there, which is a different color. All right, so then that comes across there. And don't worry about not getting your drawing right first time, because few people would, and I'm not one of them. So you just proceed sort of cautiously at first. Let's put this building. Yeah. There, and then down. Dublin is full of these Georgian buildings. Yeah, that's a good point, Linda. There's an American teacher, and she's sadly passed on since, but she had a bunch of books. You've probably seen them. What's her name? Helen Van Wyck, her name was, and she said in her book, one of her books, you know, that you shouldn't hear the brush scrubbing the painting. It's, you know, it's a good bit of advice, and it really means just use plenty of paint. So that can come down there. Now we can just do this block up here of dark, and then here of the paler trees, and here comes down like a big rectangle. I'm trying to see its simple shapes rather than the shape that the thing is. And then let's put this dark down here, and I can adjust my drawing now. So up there and down there. And I might just, I wish you could see me. I'm kind of craning my neck around, try and accommodate the cameras. Yeah. So this, I'm going to bring that out, make more of that. And there's a signpost there. And the signpost says, you probably can't read it from where you are, it says lock C3. Right. And a very unattractive sign, which I'm not going to put in. Shadow there, there. And at this moment, I'm checking for my lightest light and darkest dark, because that's you know, it's an important part of the painting. And my darkest dark is kind of here, I think, and probably some in the trees, definitely in there. And then there are a couple sort of little ones here. That's pretty dark as well. And my lightest light is just about here. Okay. Just along that. Not sure what it is. Let's see if I can go in closer and tell you what it is. In fact, it is part of the building. The buildings are rendered in cement down to here, and then they're painted. I suppose that makes life a little bit easier for the people looking after the building. There. All right, so I think I've got all my salient points in there. Okay, and now I'm going to start out by putting the bones of my picture in. And I suppose this is where it kind of departs from watercolor, isn't it? So I'm going to grab some ultramarine blue and mix in some burnt sienna to make a dark. Okay, and put that in first. And then it just reflects right down into the water, handily. Okay, that's pretty dark down there, and I put that in there. Here, let me just put a dark in there, so I don't want to lose it. There. This is pretty dark. I'm going to just loosen that paint a little bit with a little bit of solvent. I've put a little bit of Viridian into it too. I'm not sure how the screen is handling the subtlety of the paint, but I'm just going to block that in, mass it in, as they say. And of course, up on the other side, here, I'm going to mass that in too. Use more paint, make less noise. I hope the mic's not picking it up. I'm using a long-handled, flat, bright brush here at the moment, which is probably going to whack off the camera too, but nothing so far. I'm going to mass in the lighter green now. So I'm going to grab some yellow ochre, some cadmium yellow, some of that green, and a touch of red. You always have to put a red into it, especially a Viridian, because if you just mix yellow into a Viridian, it makes a very toxic color. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can sort of do that for you. If I grab some yellow, so there's a kind of a natural green because I put red into it, and if I just grab some Viridian, it almost kind of goes day glow. Yeah. So you need to put red into it. Yeah, Helen Van Wyck, great painter. Good books if you can get them. They're starting to be hard to find. So if you see one coming up, you should get it. I think somebody I saw one that was normally, I don't know, 25 euros or dollars or something online, and it was well over 100 the last time I looked. So you know, if you have one, you need a bit of money. I suppose that's one way of getting it. Got to put that. There, like that. That'll do for that part. And now we've got some green, a bluer, cooler green over here. Up here, just going to mass that part in. Here is the same. Okay. Right, so there's in the foreground we've got a natural green, which is slightly darker. It's cooler. It's in the shade, but it's still got a lot of red in it. More here. Mix a bit more yellow into that. There was a canal building craze in Europe, at least in those days. So these canals got built and they bankrupted an awful lot of people. Probably Huband was one of them. So let's put this up here. That it's a bit of sun So we're getting to that part there, and then goes cooler again there. Now those buildings, I'm going to mass in the right hand building first. So it's a red, slightly earth colored red. So I'm going to mix up some permanent rose and some yellow ochre. I'm not sure how fruity the colours are going to come out on your screens. But there, like that. The row goes across there like that. And then there's a much paler, dark greyish yellow on the left hand building. So I'm going to mask that in first. I'm going to put a dark down here actually. Okay. And then there's that pale render, the cement render. Put that in there. Okay, there's a grey on top of the roof line on the right hand building, which is a bluish grey. So I make greys from all the colours plus white. So I don't have black on my palette this time. Sometimes I do. It's a kind of a mid grey really. Put it in there. Nicholas, French Polynesia, Tahiti, bonjour, comment allez-vous? Il fait beau là, pas ici, c'est pas, le ciel est bleu, c'est pas très chaud. Okay, so yes, I'm going to mass in the sky. I'm just trying to block in all the areas that need to be treated first. So unfortunately it's a blue sky in the picture. I kind of tend to like clouds. I'm kind of like, but the kind of are clouds in there, but we can see to that later. All I need to do is mass it in first. Can you hear my painting rattle on the easel? Okay, so all the other details I can put in later. That might be one of the principal differences between watercolor and oils as well. It's I think oils are very forgiving. And all the kind of oil paintings in the world kind of tend to be expensive, you know, hugely priced things with a lot of value placed on them. I'm not talking about everybody's paintings, but you know, around the world, you know, Leonardo da Vinci and Vermeer and people like that. But kind of in a way, I think it's probably easier to paint an oil painting. There, and there's a light building sort of to the right hand side, so I'll put that in there like that. There's a grey here. I'm going to move that up slightly, give myself a bit more wall. Now, the bridge, it's a dull grey, okay, and I tend to like to make my stonework warmer. So I'm going to mix up a warmer colour. So it will be a kind of a greyish colour, but I'll be tending it towards pink, kind of pink and orangey kind of hues. So I'm going to make my body colour first. And then I want it to be warmer than that even. Okay, so coming through there, you can't really see the turn on that wall either. Yeah. Whatever happens here is kind of repeated down here. It is slightly darker, but not too much darker. And sometimes I actually do a kind of almost true reflection, because it makes the painting more believable. It might not be exactly like reality, but it's the painting that you everything you do has to support the painting rather than supporting reality. Okay, so we've got the basis for the a wall there. There's a light bluish stroke here. There's a tree here. Okay, and that grey comes along here too. Now to the water. There's a kind of murky canal water green. So it's a green with a lot of red into it. It's more or less a grey, really. Let's make that up. Make it greyer than that. Okay, and then it comes down here like that. But not everywhere. Something like that. That's reflected down there. Okay. And we've got the sky. I left a bit of a space for it being reflected here. And then the wall being reflected grey. You see, you can see a reflection. The wall is grey in the reflection in the photograph, but I haven't done it grey, so it's got to be a reflection of this. So I'm putting that in instead. That warmer hue coming here like that. Okay, there we go. Yes, and a bit more of the reflective grey here coming to there, across to there. I think, that's my blocking in almost done. Although I want to actually go back to that top right dark and bolster it up. Especially here. peculiarly red. It could be a copper beech, I suppose. Maybe didn't think they would be planting copper beeches along the canal in Dublin. Okay, so it doesn't come down there like that. There. Okay, so do we have any more darks that need to be in here? Maybe there are a couple of darks down here. Okay. Now I'm going to make some adjustments on that wall of the bridge and the walls that accompanies it. It runs up by the road. There, and runs across the top. Oh, I'm missing some comments, sorry. Hello. Oh, Ivor, how are you doing? I know, Tahiti, isn't it amazing? Oh, Gauguin, wow, yeah. Yeah. Possibly a strange individual, but a great painter. Let's put this up here. Darks there. There, that can go dark as well. And I need to put in a bit more of the reflection of the wall here. Now I might need to change my brush now. A smaller brush. I'm switching to a, what am I switching to? Oh, the number's rubbed off. Anyway, I don't know. It's a small round, probably a 6 or something like that. This one. So a lighter version of that warm bridge, possibly even warmer. Okay, and across here too. I want to put some sort of tonal variations or even hue variations in there, really, I suppose would be more accurate to say. It's because the whole thing is an optical illusion, isn't it? You're just trying to convince the viewer that something is there with as little information as possible. Some people do it more than others. So I'm going to put a grayer, bluer hue, still light, maybe around here. And I'm painting into the paint that's already there, without getting into too many details just yet. And I suppose I could really be termed as almost as an obsessive completist. So I'm not that sort of how do you say? I'm not that inclined to paint total realism or hyper realism. You know, and it might be because I wouldn't be able to manage it, but it's not what I want to do anyway. I would far rather be like Gauguin or, you know, Monet or, you know, the Scottish colorists that I keep going on about, who are all sort of cast in the same mold, really. And the Scottish colorists were very much into the French Impressionists. So down there, maybe down there, a bit like that. What have we got? There's some light sort of greens. I'm not sure what they are, but I see them there, so I'm going to put a few sort of dots in there like that. There's a couple of lights. They're probably cars. I'm not going to describe individual cars. Everyone says thanks be to God. Yeah, you're right. But I often kind of ask myself, you know, maybe we should be sort of recording all this because maybe it's not going to last much longer. You know, everyone having 3 cars each. I'm rambling, I know. It's because I'm tired. Okay, so to put in a few little dots there. Now, I'm going to move myself around. I'm going to go back into the sky and lighten, put a touch of yellow into it as well, and lighten it up as it comes down towards the horizon. Put that there. In fact, I don't need that. I'm not sure why I was letting it stay stuck up there. Okay. Linda, when you, I suppose the thing about oils is your sculpting rather than paint. Yeah, I'm not sure what you can describe what you do in watercolors as. In oils, though, it's kind of your sculpting. That's you're whittling the paint down as you go along. Let me put that one. I do miss being able to actually use my arm. I usually, if I can put my arm there and then I can rest my wrist on it, but it's a bit tough. I'm just moving that light around there so that you can see more of it. Is that better? Now I can't see the painting. Oh joy, yeah, it'll have to be like that. Okay, so now I'm going to start working on some of the greens in the foreground. Trying to make sure that I don't overdo the toxicity level on the trees. Yeah, okay, so that's good. Okay, that'll do. There, lightening up those trees in the background, but not being too specific. Up there and in there maybe. And along here. There. Now, let's, because you know, and I don't know what it's like in watercolor either, but I know I keep referring to watercolor, but I do find it fascinating. But with an alla prima painting, you're bouncing around the painting, taking care of as many parts as possible until the thing becomes clear. So you don't work on one spot. Is the idea. Because you want the whole thing to look as if it was sort of obscure glass. You know, you're looking through an obscure glass window, and then gradually the window clears, type of thing. And here, let's put a dark down actually. Along here. That'd be nice there. Complete that part. Oh, we've got some darks in there. There's a path here, which I like. I look at that burnt sienna wash or line that was in there before, and I like it there as it is. But let's put something in anyway. This path comes through there like that. You can see parts of it. I suppose it's the tow path, isn't it? Where everyone towed the line. Now, back over to this building here. push that up against there. There's some wait. Give me a moment. Change mics. Okay. 1. 1, 1, 1. Okay. Is that better? Back in the room. Franco. I didn't see you. I'm sorry about this. I have to say, that looks ridiculous, but it'll do, won't it? Hang on, I'm just going to change the gain a little bit. Gain. Where's the gain? Oh, what does that sound like? What does that sound like? Yeah. How long was I gone for? Honestly, I had no idea. I wasn't looking. 5 minutes, 10 minutes? It's going to be another ruined recording, isn't it? Oh gosh. Right, let's get that out of there. I'll sort that out later. You can still hear me? Yeah, it looks as if it's working. Microphone problems. Right. Let me see. Okay. 10 minutes. About a week. Right, okay. Technology. Right, so where am I? Yes. Where am I? That's the question of the day. I don't know where I am. Several minutes. God almighty, I do apologise. Who'd be a YouTuber? Right, here we go. I'm going to put a light up there, and that's got to correspond with this. There. I can go over that now in a second. It's picked up a bit of red on it. That's fine there. Now, I want to go over that that red building to the right. Let's make sure it's just a little bit lighter and more orange. Yeah, this one here. Here we go. There. Can't hear my dulcet tones. As we go down there like that. Okay. There's a dark that goes across the top there like that, which must be, I don't know, some kind of, let's tone that down a bit. Thing. And let's grab some light colors and put in a few windows there. Okay, and same down here. Let's grab some light again. 1, 2. Okay. Now what? What's happened here? Now painting is off screen. Let me have. Oh, the painting is off screen. Canvas. Sorry. Sorry. More problems. Right. A yellow thing here. A dark thing here. More dark stuff there. Okay. There's kind of a figure here sitting there. That'll do. Yes. I presume that I'm back on now, aren't I? Yeah. Yeah. T-shirt is great. Of my own design. Right. So so let's get the nice darks in the water again. So down there, there's a dark corresponding to this here. So there, down there, and then in that water. Yeah, it's like a weekly sort of exercise in not being very good at technology. There are these patterns in the water. They're kind of like almost like I don't know what you call it, the wave patterns on an oscilloscope. I suppose that's what they are, is wave patterns, isn't it? Okay, reflections of green bouncing around. And then here we've got some more vegetation coming up into the water. I'm going to reiterate that that shadow down there into more of a red. There's a light along here. Back to the sky. And I can sort of put in some shape around the sky here, around that building. Come in around here. And through there. Okay, there's some nice yellows, kind of greenish yellows in here. They're kind of a weed, I suppose, but a lot of it grows around that part of Dublin. Okay, I need to get in some more shadows around the bridge. In there, it kind of gets slightly lighter as it comes towards us. My shadowed area is longer than I have it, so I can sculpt that out now. And I might make it slightly sort of bluer underneath. And then just drag some of that into there. Okay, some whiter, or I see lighter parts to that stonework over here. It's kind of a pillar. There, that'll be bluer when I get around to it. So along here too. And repeat that in here and break up some of those reflections with horizontal lines. And then put in some grayer areas, slightly bluish, I suppose. Detail giving the illusion of function, I suppose. You know, sort of, I've spoken about that before. You know, it's make the thing look as if it should be there, but you're making it up more or less, like Chris Foss used to do in his science fiction illustrations. My favourite illustrator of the 70s. Push that across there and have that come down there. I know, I'm probably going quiet anyway. Because the more I get into this, the more I sort of let the therapeutic effect of just painting into the blocks comes into play. There's a dark there. Those chimney stacks are dark at the top, and then they come down into the cement. There and there. Now, I don't know about you, but I like pink skies. I like pink in skies, I have to say. So I always grab my blue and I put a little bit of permanent rose and a touch of yellow. It's kind of more like a lavender in this case, but I think it was a trick that the Impressionists used to employ a lot, I think. And it just kind of makes a, how would you call it, makes the colours vibrate against each other. And of course, round about now, you'd have been painting there for an hour or something, and it's really how long your bladder can hold out, isn't it? I'm going to lighten up. I'm even going to put a touch of white into a yellowy green for around here, and just sort of put in random sort of dabs. You can hear my chair farting around. It's my chair, I promise you. It creaks like mad under the excessive weight. Up there. Now there is a little bit of dark in here because you're looking through those, I don't know what they call them, balustrades, is it, or whatever? There. There we go. From around now onwards, you can sort of just keep going and tighten and tighten and tighten, but I'm trying to sort of not be sort of too enslaved by the references. Putting in the ripples of the water. There's a slightly bluish hue over here, so I'm going to put that in. Just knock it back into the distance a little bit. There we go. That's all cool and in the shade. And let's fix up that tree there. Give it a little bit of shape. Get some more. What was it? Yellow ochre. So I'm trying to think of two things at once here. So. Okay, I need another dark now for the water. Where are we? Okay, so maybe I'll put in a couple of little bits of street furniture. Mix up a very, very light grey. Okay, and maybe here, I don't know what those things are. Little signposts and things. Those ones are okay because they're far away. The ones that are, that one that's close to me is horrible. Not putting it in. Okay. Dark over there, dark there. Okay. How are you all doing? You're still there? There is actually a tiny little old gas lamp up on top of that. I'll put it in there because I think it just wants to be there. Thank you, Linda. As I said, it's I don't know how long before the bladder doesn't hold out any longer. Thank you, Ivor. Yeah. Let's put some reflections in that haven't been in there before. Some of these kind of golden yellow ones from the above. I'm surprised I can't see the building as a reflection. Or maybe it's just being reflected darkly. It might be worth kind of just adding it in. Because it's there, and I might just finish by there's a whole row of very light coloured stonework at the edges, these buildings at the front. Delineates them. And it's a very different city than, for example, Belfast. Because Belfast is a Victorian city mainly. Or built on the shipbuilding and Dublin was, I think, on the what was it sort of textiles, I think, maybe. Push that down there. Now, if I just grab that, push that in a little bit. Yeah. Great. What am I going to do? Take that off of there. Hopefully I don't let it fall like I did last time. Let's have a look. Get that out of the way. I hope the microphone is still working. It seems to still be working. Okay, so there, there's a lot of reflection coming off that light there. So, I mean, if it goes up, if the sound, if I can recover the sound, it'll go up as a video. Let me have a look. Where am I? Oh, there. It's not all working. How are you all keeping? Where are you? Let's see if I can move. I don't know whether it's set up probably to see. There's a study for painting as if you're there, I suppose. That's the thing. Everyone there? How are you getting on? Have you managed to paint during the week? Hello. Hey, Linda. Thank you, Miles. You're very kind. Oh, I've got an aching back now. It does something to my shoulder here. I'm going to have to go get myself a massage or something. So, how are you all going on? Tell me about your activities. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to I've scheduled it for the 28th of May, and I know you probably don't need this yourselves, but I'm going to do a Zoom class. I'm thinking of going back onto online teaching as well, so it'd be for beginners really, setting out materials they need. Star Victory, what a handle! That's brilliant. Where are you from, Star? Anyway, yeah, as I was going to say, I'm going to do on the 28th at the same time, 6:30. So I'll do the live stream on the Thursday, as usual, and I'll do the Zoom thing. Thank you, Linda. You're very kind. Yeah, so this Zoom thing. So you'd have to kind of look at my website, and you can see what is it up there? You can see my name there. That's my website. I've got this huge website, and I think it confuses people. But yeah, so that's one thing. Next week, I'm trying to get. The reason I joined Zoom was because I was having difficulty finding a way of interviewing artists. It's very difficult to. I think I tried. There's one called Melon App. It's now called Talk Studio, StreamYard, and things like that. So you get one person here and the other person here on the screen, and they're talking remotely, I suppose, but it seems it's not such an easy task. Oh, Morandi, okay. Yeah, Morandi, yeah. I've never really followed Morandi. I presumed a lot of his work would be around the world, probably in America or Italy. We might be able to get to Italy this year, but it would be the north, Turin. So it'd be nice if there was I've been to Turin before. It's a lovely place. The Italians don't really seem to rate very much because I think it's a city of the third rank. But I really enjoyed it, especially the Fiat factory that I visited. Anyway, yes. Anyway, we were supposed to be talking about Morandi. Yes, I've never actually tried Morandi style, and I suppose I should, because that is a kind of a simplistic way of painting. You know, simple yet effective, that kind of thing. So yeah, why is it low key though? You're being hard on yourself. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so look out for that thing. I'll probably put a post up on YouTube to anyone who's subscribed, and if they passed it on, it would be great. So as I say, it's for beginners, really kind of total beginners, people who haven't held a brush before, that kind of way. So that's coming up. Maybe the 28th is a little too soon to do it, but you know, I'll still be here and not on my holidays at that stage. So it might be nice to actually start the thing off and have a microphone that doesn't sort of shut down in the middle of the live stream or the video. Anyway, so thank you very much for coming, and paint away, do as much as you can. My thing is paint oils, paint small, paint often, but I mean it goes for any of the mediums. It's just that I do oils mostly. Could be paint, acrylics, paint often, you know. So but I think that's the way to go, small and often, whatever you use as a medium. So listen, have a lovely week, and I hope to see you next week. So over and out. If I can only find the mouse to turn this thing off. Have a lovely week. There we go. Yeah.